Hey everyone, I'll be covering all of the Nintendo Switch's games announced for the second week of November, so let's get started. Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is a single-player turn-based RPG bringing the League of Legends IP to consoles for the very first time, expanding on the world of Runeterra and bringing in new players to an immersive turn-based RPG experience entrenched with war, rich with lore, and plenty of character. Form unlikely alliances and build a team of champions ready to thwart the mysterious new threat engulfing the world. After several delays, Made of Skur is finally ready to launch on Switch on November 26th. This first-person survivor horror game is set in a remote hotel with a gory and macabre history from British folklore. Armed with only a defensive sound device, utilize your stealth tactics to avoid death among occult and unforgiving enemies. Modus Studios has taken a lot of feedback into account for the release of Override 2 Super Mech League on December 22nd. This giant robot brawler takes place 7 years after the xenotypes have invaded the Earth and basically destroyed it. What were once used as self-defense mechanisms are now used for sport to entertain the remaining survivors. The development team has confirmed several versus and co-op modes on top of a single-player career mode. Dive by the Blade is a one-hit kill fighting game inspired by Bushido Blade and Way of the Samurai. Choose your fighter and then your weapon, and then get ready for an intense, fast-paced bout. Each combatant brings something new to the table, and the weapons chosen changes the mechanics and the approach to each one of the fights. A single-player campaign is also being offered on top of traditional multiplayer modes. The couch co-op brawler action game Dawn of the Monsters puts 4 players at the foot of a worldwide destruction. Take the role of a newly casted kaiju tasked with defeating a horde of monsters. Conquer the endless waves in 2.5D graphics with tons of destructible environments. Then invite or pit yourself against others in local multiplayer battles. An unknown sorcerer has infiltrated the kingdom of Felsand and casted a terrible curse upon the royal family. That's the premise of Into the Eternal, a Zelda 2-inspired RPG that's aiming to intertwine a massive story with tons of smaller ones, fleshing out the world and all of its inhabitants, while giving you a sense of realism and duty to the tale of revenge and redemption. QV has been rumored since the summer, and CFK has finally confirmed that the action-adventure game is set to release on November 26th. QB is destined to protect the balance and harmony between worlds and dimensions. She's also tasked with exploring ruins of the old dilapidated worlds and uncovering the secrets and hidden powers all across these ancient sites. Puzzle solve, remove traps, and make your way into danger to find some answers. Fight for survival across a procedurally generated and emergent mission based on a campaign through a reactive, tactical turn-based battles that emphasize interrupts and counters and star renegades. Assemble a band of heroes ready to fight against an invading Imperium. Survive the relentless onslaught of an intelligent adversary system that generates unique enemies and bosses that evolve as you play. Relive the real-time tactics that define a generation like no other in Commandos 2 HD Remaster, now presented with HD visuals, reworked controls, a revamped AI system, and new tutorials for newcomers. Control an elite group of commandos venturing deep into enemy territory and utilize their combined expertise to complete a series of demanding missions in World War II. After being dormant for over a decade, the Drawn to Life series is finally getting a new entry in Drawn to Life 2 Realms. Make use of a brand new creation tool that expands on your creative possibilities with a million set of colors, unique stickers, templates, and new hero animations. Customizations and unlockables are the forefront of progression, always rewarding your ingenuity as you trek forward. Confirmed in the latest issue of Famitsu, Tabeoja is finally set to release November 28th in Japan. This is Bandai Toy's newest attempt of a strategic battler using motion controls with the Joy-Cons, where cooking and food-based heroes are summoned into battle in a wacky yet comedic-filled story. The rhythmic puzzler mashup Touhou Spell Bubble was announced earlier in 2020 and seemingly out of nowhere was shadow dropped in the eShop this past week. Play with over 20 characters and enjoy over 48 arranged tracks from the Touhou universe to do battle with. Make use of every advantage in the story mode, and when finished, challenge others in several game modes offered specifically for multiplayer. Stranded in a strange landscape, solve mind-bending cube puzzles to unlock mysteries of a dreamlike world in Dreamo, a puzzle-solving journey through a shifting landscape of recollections. Dozens of individually designed challenges and 3D puzzles await your attention to detail, requiring a calm and clear mind to solve. Iris and the Giant is a fusion of collectible card game with RPG and roguelike elements. You play as Iris, braving her fears of her imaginary world. Explore a touching story of a young woman bracing her inner demons and soothing the raging giant inside her. Deck build, customize, and face menacing battles. Lone Survivor: The Director's Cut released on the Wii U all the way back in 2014. Super Flat Games is now bringing a new version of the psychological survivor adventure game known as Super Lone Survivor to the Switch next year. This remake includes the new ascending scenario on top of a brand new set of physics, new visual options, locked 60 frames per second, and tons of quality of life changes. After a successful Kickstarter campaign, the 2-in-1 mystery visual novel Cosmos Connections is set to release on Switch next year. This slice of life story is all about reconnecting with old friends and forming new connections in the first game, while the second entry is all about science fiction and that's also integrated and relatable to the first part of the game, while also being its very own thing. Metaverse Keeper is a dungeon crawling roguelike where 5 heroes join forces to save the metaverse. Explore randomly generated worlds, customize your weapons, and fight monsters either alone or via co-op. Harness the powers of space-time abilities and make death a non-issue while wielding a massive set of arsenal ready for anything that the game decides to throw your way. In the roguelike narrative card game Cultist Simulator, what you find may transform you forever. Every choice made from moment to moment doesn't just advance the narrative, but also shapes it. Combine cards to tell your own story in a Lovecraftian world full of ambition and the appetite for abomination. Corrupt your friends, consume your enemies, and shape your own history. The point-and-click adventure game Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Dry Twice, is hitting the Switch next spring. No obstacles will keep him away from finding his beloved, not even a wild and untamed set of islands. Will he be able to find true love or just another set of passionate, wild, and crazy nights? Manage your resources timely during combat and execute endless strategically placed combos to cause more harm to your enemies and Colossus down. Take on innumerable challenges in a combination of beat 'em up and shoot 'em up platforming and puzzle action. Discover the Neon District and all it has to offer in preparation for your grand mission. The minimalistic puzzle adventure game Limelight takes a simple premise of what if everything takes place on a line. Guide dash across the game's clean and relaxing worlds. Solve over 250 puzzles across 6 varied color-filled worlds as you discover intricacies and differences with each one and another. The mystery detective game Vera Blanc Full Moon plays much like visual novels with adventure game aspects, where different paths will open up to solve mysteries on your way. Offering over 200 unique panels and conversational branches, immerse yourself in the supernatural as you uncover mysteries not for the faint of heart. Wonderblade places an incredible selection of killer combos, fantastic finishers, customizable builds, and the endless wave of foes to unlock a variety of skills to charge up the tactical play in each one of the levels. Alt Frequencies is an audio mystery game where you use the airwaves to open up the world's eyes to the truth. Record, rewind time, and broadcast snippets of radio to show and expose radio hosts, conspiracy theorists, politicians, underground activists, and anything to undermine authority. Based on the popular YouTuber Boris the Slav King, Life of Boris, Super Slav is a comedic-filled adventure game full of mini-games where not only you'll be able to go up against his friends, but also his family. Crazy BMX World originally released in Japan as Bike Ride DX and is now being shadow dropped on the North American eShop. Tackle over 300 stages in major cities around the globe in the World Tour mode and collect over 40 distinct bikes, each with their own unique perks and bonuses that changes things up dramatically. And that's what the game announcements will be covering this week. We're on the eve of next generation consoles releasing with the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 5 Digital. I recently put out an Xbox breakdown video giving my take on what makes the Xbox Series X something worth considering and why it's worth a second look. A few weeks back, I put out a similar video covering the PlayStation 5. And if for some reason you still don't know all the facts about either of these extremely powerful consoles, I highly encourage you to give these videos a look. While they're not going to compete with the Nintendo Switch toe-to-toe, Nintendo has a lot of room to make up with the now ever-expanding and exponential power gap. And if their rumors of a Switch Pro are true for next year, there's a lot to be hopeful for. So with all that said, as per always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate the support, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. See ya!